All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Bladensburg Town Council meeting for Monday, December the 9th. We're now called to order. The first item on the agenda after calling the meeting to order is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Brown. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Blunt. Any corrections or changes requested to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. The agenda for tonight is approved. As noted, the public hearing has been moved to next week. Town Administrator, can you please just give an announcement regarding that, please?
Yes, Mayor, Council. We made an error in the change date, which we will be putting out. It's going to be the 19th versus the 17th. So that'll be Thursday, the 19th at 5:30 p.m. And we will make sure that is corrected on our social media, and it's also already been corrected on our town website for the hearing. So it's already up. We made those changes, and we have everything set for the publications.
Thank you, Town Administrator Bailey Hedgepath. And that change, as noted in the agenda, does reflect items 3A and 4A, which will be moved to that hearing on December 19th at 5:30 p.m. right here in the council chambers. With that, we'll proceed on to the Pledge of Allegiance. So for those who are able, please stand with us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much for that. At this time, we'll move forward with the opening prayer, and I'll ask Councilmember Dixon to lead us.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Father, we thank you for your love. We thank you for your grace. We thank you for this day, God. We thank you, God, that we were able to gather here tonight. And Father God, as we're about to move into business, God, I pray, God, that it will not be about our agenda, but your agenda, oh God. And I pray right now, God, that you will continue to cover the council, oh God, and the police officers and our residents. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Councilmember Dixon. At this time, we have a presentation from our Patriotic Committee lead, Ms. Renee Green. Press the button.
There you go. Good evening, Mayor and Council and Town of Bladensburg. I'm Renee Green, the Patriotic Coordinator. The Pearl Harbor ceremony was last Saturday, December 7th at 11 o'clock. Ethan Mendoza is working on his Eagle Scout project of restoring the Pearl Harbor Memorial. He has a 1,300-pound anchor that will be mounted on a stand. And the stand is going to be completed by the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. But the Boy Scouts are still in need of $900. So you can contact Chris Mendoza to use PayPal or Zelle or Venmo, or you can write a check to the Boy Scouts Troop Number 257 and drop it off at the City Hall, and Chris will come by and pick it up. The next event will be Memorial Day on Monday, May 26, 2025 at 11 o'clock. And then we will be planning the 100th anniversary of the Peace Cross. So it will be turning 100 years old in July. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Green, for your continuous efforts to keep our patriotic events going. We still miss former council member Marian Hoffman, but I think she'd be so proud of the work that you're doing for our community. So thank you. Yes. Thank you. At this time, we'll continue on with the agenda, moving next to the approval of minutes from the November 18th Town Council meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any comments, questions, or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. At this time, we are at the point of our meeting for public comment from Bladensburg residents. Town Clerk, Madam Clerk, if you could call up the residents in the order listed on the sheet, please.
Okay, our first resident is Miss Susan McCutcheon.
Someone left their paperclip there. I don't know why, but anyway. They're trying to probably do a screw or something because it's bent up, so I got it. I'm Susan McCutcheon. I live on Spring Road, and I'm sort of the opposition maglev girl around or something. So at any rate, I just want to let you know there's still a lot happening with that. We're gathering news about the kinds of things that are going on, and we're putting out our newsletters, and I thank the Greenbelt News Review for putting in, they took some of the pictures from our last one that showed a lot of pictures of events this year, and they made an article, put it in the Greenbelt News Review, which was much appreciated. I wanted to note that we were talking about trees earlier and tree planting. I wanted to note, I'm not sure who this area, who it belongs to, but by the Save-A-Lot parking, mall, the Save-A-Lot, where the mall is. Trees are being planted. There was a tree cut down, and trees are being planted around the curve. People are not, I think whoever's planting, I don't know who does it, not thinking of the fact that people are coming down the street and can't, when those grow bigger, they're not going to be able to see the traffic. The big tree there was blocking it. Now that's been cut down, but they're not going to be able to see the traffic coming around. And this came to me to say something because now the Central Baptist Church property has been purchased by the Iglesia Evangelica Remanente Fiel, and they're putting in a parking lot in the swatch of land. I didn't know that was this church's land, but anyway, there's going to be more traffic there. So the bottom line is more traffic there and people coming down the road in front, and if they're looking around the corner to see the traffic coming the other way or trying to make a right turn or a left turn as those trees mature, there's going to be some blockage along that way. So again, I don't know who plants them or does whatever. They might look nice, but in that case, that's kind of an awkward place to have a tree line blocking. Other than that, I want to say that I really love the town of Bladensburg. I hope that there can be, we're going into a bad period where the Orange Man is in the White House again. And quite honestly, there's a lot of rancor and anger and problems are happening all over already in advance. And I do hope there can be some civility going into 2025 among all of us and among the towns where we listen to each other and try to work out situations that may be thorny but can be resolved with civil conversation and a little bit of trust. And I thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. McCutcheon. Madam Clerk, could you call the next resident?
Yes, Mr. Steve Whites.
Yeah, I'm Steve Whites. I live on Tilden Road. I noticed the ordinance about creating a tree city for Bladensburg, I guess. I have a couple of questions. When they create this tree city, how does that affect private homeowners as far as cutting down trees on their own private property and, maintaining their trees? And I would also ask that when they plant trees, don't plant them under the power lines. These trees get up in the power lines and they get pretty big. If they could plant some smaller trees, it'd be nice in areas away from the power lines. But there was also an ordinance about establishing framework for proper care, maintenance, and management of public trees. I guess that's in public land, but we also have a problem in Bladensburg. We have a lot of very big old trees. They cover the whole street. It's on the front yard, but it covers the whole street, and we have a lot of dead limbs and dead trees that are dying. a lot of residents can't afford to cut the tree down. On my street, I've reported to Roger there was a tree on the corner that was constantly knocking the power lines out, dead limbs. Pepco trims them, and next month there's another problem because the trees aren't maintained properly. But these are private trees. I don't know what you can do to help us out, but it's a big problem in Bladensburg. Not only the tree limbs falling on your house, but trying to maintain them. So I'd appreciate, if the town could do something to help out with that. The other problem, Pepco trims the tree limbs on the top lines for the electric lines, but Comcast, all the internet lines are overgrown with tree limbs. Is there any way we can trim those tree limbs down? Because my Comcast TV is blanking out, and coverage is cutting out, and they have a lot of, Verizon comes in, replaces Comcast, leaves the old Comcast lines on the on the telephone pole. They're flapping around and getting out in the street and everything. So if that's something they could consider, some way that the town could help out with that, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. White. We appreciate your comments, and we'll definitely look into how we can get some support with the residents in need with maintaining their trees. And I guess, Town Administrator, the timing for this ordinance and the work that we're doing to be a part of Tree City is timely. It's understood we have some very old, tall trees in the community. And to Mr. Weiss's point, they're wide, and so they might be on one side of the property, but because of the branches, they can expand over onto the backside of the property or even their neighbors. So this is good timing for us to start addressing some of those challenges.
And I'll address it in, I guess, at that report time, and I can probably address some of Mr. Weiss's initial concerns that he mentioned and at the time of that report. So I'll do all of that for you, Mr. Weiss, and give you some feedback. Okay?
Perfect. Thank you, Town Administrator. Next, we'll move on to item 12 under financial business. This is the ordinance number 04-2025, an ordinance to enact the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget process and codify the town council and public participation process. So I'll turn it over to Madam Clerk, but this is, I want to say, our, third or fourth time discussing this ordinance. It's been out there, the council. We've all checked our calendars in terms of the timeline that's presented for the planning process for the next fiscal year. The dates are good. We are ready for the ordinance. But Madam Clerk, I recall our conversation before the meeting, so I will call for a motion to have the clerk do an abbreviated reading of the ordinance.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Brown. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any comments or questions before I call the vote? Hearing none. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The floor is yours, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance to enact the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget process and codify the town council and public participation process. Whereas the town of Bladensburg operates on an annual budget cycle that includes public engagement, review, and approval of its financial plans for the upcoming fiscal year. And whereas the town intends to formalize and streamline the budget process by enacting an ordinance that codifies the involvement of the town council and the public, providing for clear timelines and process for the review and adoption of the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget. And whereas the town administrator is committed to presenting this structured budget schedule to enhance transparency, address budgetary concerns early, and ensure that the town's financial planning is comprehensive and efficient. And now, therefore, it is ordained by the mayor and the council of the town of Bladensburg, Maryland, as follows. Budget process timeline. Ordinance introduction on November 18, 2024. Budget calendar finalization on December 9th, 2024, which will be the second reading. January 25th, budget review of the town council meeting on January 13th of the budget session 1 with the town council budget and town events on February 18th. Budget session 2, introduction and public safety on March 10th, 2025. Budget number 3, finance, clerk, and town administrator on March 18, 2025 at a special council meeting. Budget session number 4, special budget meeting for public works and public safety on April 1st, 2025. Another special council meeting. First reading of the budget ordinance on April 14, 2025, on first reading. Tax rate and constant yield hearing on April 14th or May 12th, 2025. Budget session number 5, special council meeting on April 29th, 2025. A proposed budget adoption, second reading on May 12th, 2025, and an alternative budget adoption date of June 9th, 2025. And be it further ordained that the town will ensure that the public notice is given for all budget meetings and hearings in accordance with the local and state laws, and all meetings will be open for public comment and participation to promote transparency and community involvement in the physical planning process. And it be further ordained that this ordinance shall take effect within 20 days of this passage, and be further enacted and ordained that upon passage, this ordinance shall be authenticated by the signature of the mayor and the town clerk, and shall be recorded in the book kept for that purpose. In addition, this ordinance shall be published by posting certified copy of it in the town hall for 10 days following the adoption to Article 2, Section 209 of the Charter of the Town of Bladensburg, Maryland, and will be effective December 9th, 2024.
Thank you. I know even with the abbreviation, it was still a lot, so thank you, Madam Clerk. With that, is there a motion to pass ordinance number 04, 2025?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Brown. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Blunt. Any comments, questions, or corrections to the ordinance? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. We'll continue on under new business, item number 13A, with the ordinance number 09, 2025, an ordinance of the Council of the Town of Bladensburg establishing a framework for the proper care, maintenance, and management of public trees within the Town of Bladensburg. This is another long ordinance, so is there a motion from the council to allow the clerk to abbreviate the reading of the ordinance?
I so moved.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Madam Clerk, the floor is yours.
An ordinance of the Council of the Town of Bladensburg establishing a framework for the proper care, maintenance, and management of public trees within the Town of Bladensburg. Whereas the Town of Bladensburg has resolved to become members of the Tree City, USA, and part of this membership is a commitment to proper care and maintenance of trees. And whereas the mayor and council are supportive of green endeavors and have been certified by Sustainability Maryland as part of its certification requires the expansion and adoption of new green policies and initiatives. And whereas the mayor and council have adopted Resolution 08-2025, in which the council town consents to join Tree City, USA, and whereas the town has engaged with the Neighborhood Design Center to conduct tree assessment, which is also a requirement for the Tree City, USA designation. And Section 1, the purpose. Section 2 gives authority. Section 3 is a public tree care, which is a planting of public trees, the maintenance of public trees, the removal of public trees. Section 4, the community involvement. And Section 5, which says the penalties and enforcement, and unauthorized planting, pruning, removal of trees, public trees shall be subject to penalties as outlined in the town's enforcement guidelines. Effective date, and be it further ordained that this ordinance shall take effect within 20 days of its passage, and be further enacted and ordained that upon passage, the ordinance shall be authenticated by the signature of the mayor and town clerk, and shall be recorded in the book kept for this purpose. In addition, this ordinance shall be published by posting a certified copy of it in the town hall for 10 days following its adoption, pursuant to Article 2, Section 209 of the Charter of the Town of Bladensburg, Maryland, and it will be effective the 9th day of December 2025.
24, yes.
24.
I looked at that too. I was like, wait a minute. Did somebody hit a button and it's 2025?
It
Wait
is
a
in
minute. What just
2025.
happened? We lost a year in a blink.
No,
Yes, and you know what, because there's going to be a second reading on this. This is
25.
the
Okay.
first reading,
First
so it
reading.
will be a second reading.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
so it is 25, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then for the January meeting.
So this will be
we'll
effective
do-
January 13th of 2025.
Okay, 13th of 2020. Okay. All right, so we will move on. But for the residents, if you missed the work session, please go back and view it. We did spend some time talking about this particular ordinance in the Tree USA program. And we just want to give you a heads up that we'll be rolling out more details on the care plan, the maintenance requirements. More information will be forthcoming. Mr. Hall and the team are putting that information together with some of our consultants to do I would think, a more detailed presentation once we're ready for rollout on the how, the when, the why, the what for the community. All right? Yeah, if you, yeah, okay.
Microphone, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you. The sky, the eye of God. Thank you, Mr. To go back again, that the board that will be, the tree board will be our green team, that we will be working with you through the enforcement and penalties, and also regarding the permitting, so that we will put those into more, we will add more detail on that. But yes, this is again only for public trees. And I wanted to recognize again the fact that, you know, our neighbors have been in Tree City, probably some of them over 20 years, and we're just, what we'd like to do is in some ways make sure that Bladensburg is, you know, kind of living up to the same standards as some of our neighbors in the area. So again, Mayor and Council, thank you for giving me this 2 minutes to address that, and Mr. Weiss, I'll be here for any other questions you may have.
Thank you, Madam Town Administrator. So next we'll proceed on to Resolution 10-2025, a resolution to adopt the Tree City USA principles and tree care standards in the town of Bladensburg.
Mayor, I apologize. We moved the abbreviation, but we did not do a motion to approve
Oh,
the
sorry.
ordinance.
So, you're right, sorry, let me back up. Yep, okay. So with that, is there a motion to approve ordinance number 09-2024?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Dixon, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any comments, questions, or corrections to the ordinance?
Yes, Mayor, so is it, well, it says 08-2025, the third whereas on the first page, and it should be ordinance number 09-2025.
We'll make the corrections.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you. Any other corrections to the resolution? All right, so with that, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. The ordinance passes. And next, we will proceed. Can you tell I was excited about Tree City? I jumped right by that. All right, so here we go. Town Administrator, would you like to do a quick overview? I know we discussed it in the work session, but just a brief highlight.
Sure, I'll keep it quick when I turned on my microphone. Very quickly, this is the resolution to adopt the principles of Tree City, and allows me to go forward with that. Again, the tree board will be the green team, and again, this is a opportunity for the town to, you know, in some ways get on board with other cities. And also, Mr. Hall and I are very excited about the opportunity to expand the Public Works Department and really have them to look at our trees. And Mr. Hall, I will, if you want to make any more comments, you can.
Good afternoon, everyone, Mayor and Council, residents at home too. I think this would be a good opportunity for our guys in Public Works to get a little bit of training and get a little brushing up on our planting skills. You know, due to planting trees is a little, as we said earlier, it's a little bit different than just planting flowers right around your house and everything, and maintaining them to where they can, you know, grow to be prosper and, you know, do whatever they need to do in our community, filtering everything, air quality and all. There's a lot with trees that people just don't think. It's not just beautification of the town, it is also health being and everything.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hall. And then, as Councilmember Dixon noted earlier, for the air quality, it is important in improving our tree canopy as well as the temperature due to global climate change as well, and curbing some of the extreme heat by having that tree cover within the town. So we do appreciate you being open to supporting the town moving in this direction. Are there any comments or questions from the council? Yes.
And thanks, Mayor. And I also just would like to say to the Public Works team, I mean, you know, in terms of the beautification around the town, you know, it's noticed, you know, we appreciate it, and, you know, thank you so very much. Puts a smile on my face. Yeah, thank you so much for all that you all do. And, I mean, you guys do much more than that. But in terms for the beautification piece, you know, I want to thank you all for that little added touch.
Yes, ma'am, and I relay the message. Thank you.
I mean, you're right. For what you all cover with a mighty team of 5, 6, 7 now, yeah, it's pretty remarkable. And also, thank you for leaf season and leaf collection. You guys are doing an amazing job, so definitely appreciate our Public Works team. So with that, Madam Clerk, are you ready? Did I give you enough? I was trying to stall so you could get some water, get a cough drop. Are you ready? All right, over to you.
Resolution 1025, a resolution to adopt the Tree City USA principle and tree care standards in the town of Bladensburg. Whereas the town of Bladensburg recognizes the essential role that trees play in enhancing the quality of life for its residents, including providing environmental, economic, and social benefits. And whereas the Arbor Day Foundation Tree City USA program offers a framework for communities to manage and expand their public trees and demonstrate the commitment to the community forestry. And whereas participation in the Tree City USA program requires the town of Bladensburg to meet the core standards of maintaining a tree board, the Green Team, adopting a tree care ordinance, ensuring an annual community forestry budget, and observing Arbor Day with an official proclamation. And whereas the town of Bladensburg is committed to sustaining and improving its urban forests, thereby contributing to the health and well-being of its residents, enhancing property values, and promoting environmental stewardship. And whereas the adoption of Tree City USA principles aligns with the town's ongoing sustainability initiatives and the long-term vision of creating a greener, healthier, and more vibrant community. Tree care in Bladensburg, whereas the town is committed to the preservation and care of mature trees, which offers the greatest environmental benefits, as well as the planting and nurturing of new trees to ensure the long-term sustainability of the urban forest. And whereas the town of Bladensburg has established guidelines and practices for tree care that include regular pruning, disease prevention, and the reasonable removal of hazardous trees to ensure the safety and well-being of its residents. And whereas the town encourages community involvement in tree care efforts, including education on the benefits of trees, volunteer tree planting events, and partnership with local organizations and schools to foster environmental stewardship among residents. Whereas the town of Bladensburg will work with the state, local, and other community partners in the stewardship of local trees, and whereas the town of Bladensburg administration and public works will provide support for this organization, and whereas the town of Bladensburg will budget funding for this membership and dedicate 1% of its budget towards trees as per the organizational guidelines. And now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and town council of Bladensburg that the town hereby adopts the principles and standards of the Tree City USA program and commits to fulfilling the requirements to achieve and maintain the Tree City USA designation. Be it further resolved that the mayor and town council encourages all residents, businesses, organizations within the town of Bladensburg to actively participate in and support the town's urban forestry initiatives, signed on the 9th day of December.
Thank you for the reading of that, Madam Clerk. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 10-2025?
Also move.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any comments or questions regarding the ordinance regarding, the resolution regarding Tree City USA program? All right, hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. Next on the agenda is item 13C for Resolution 11-2025, a resolution of support for the Clean Energy for Local Government CELG FY 2025 application for medium and heavy-duty zero-emission vehicles. Madam Town Administrator, we'll turn the floor back over to you for an introduction.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. So this is a resolution of support for the town of Bladensburg to work with the other port towns of Colmar Manor and Edmonston, who have both are both sharing letters of support for a replacement to the port town's call bus. What we're hoping is that this grant is due in late January, as I mentioned in the first session, that we will bring to council a more detailed proposal, but that by getting these resolutions done now, we can have the grant writer to put everything together and provide council with a more comprehensive overview of what we'll be applying for and whether or not we apply for the Maryland Energy grant for as far as the charging stations for this as well, for a high value, for a level 3 for this one. So at the other two locations, because right now we have a level 3 here at Town Hall, but we would like to do one at Colmar Manor and maybe one at Edmonston. So we would probably put together a white paper for that. But this gives us that overall approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Town Administrator. Are there any comments or questions for Town Administrator Bailey Hedgepeth? Sure, Councilmember Brown.
And Mrs. Bailey Hedgepeth, and so this bus, it's going to be electric vehicle?
Yes, ma'am, this is a replacement to make it an electric vehicle versus, so we would be taking a high emissions vehicle and replacing it with a zero emissions vehicle, so yes, it would be electric.
Okay, totally, no hybrid?
No, we're trying to get a complete electric. We've looked at a couple of different electric items, options, so that's what we're aiming for.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And just to confirm, because we do need the lift, as Councilmember Blunt pointed out in the work session, and is that pretty standard for the electric vehicle buses?
Yes, so we are looking at one that's particularly what we are looking at since it is a senior bus that does have a wheelchair lift, and that is one of the, and that there are some that have, and it might make the bus a little smaller because of the occupancy, but we know that the wheelchair lift is needed because mostly seniors ride this bus.
Sure, Councilmember Dixon.
Thank you, May. Michelle, what's the capacity? I know you said it's going to be a little smaller.
Currently, we're looking between 12 and 15 because once you get to 16 passengers, it becomes a CDL required. And actually, the nice thing about our call bus service is that I don't manage it, which I find to be very nice. Greg from Colmar Manor does manage this process, and he manages the driver. And so it's been a really good partnership in that way. And so that's one of the things. I don't want to burden him too much on changing the style of a bus, but we are actually, going through each one of those things as we do this application. So since it's not due until the end of January, we'll be able to give you more specifics, but we are aiming for a similarly sized bus because currently we are using the van, the hybrid van that we have because the call bus is in such bad shape.
That's helpful. Thank you. Councilmember Blunt.
To answer Councilmember Dixon's question, when you get a wheelchair lift, you lose 2 seats.
Did that help, Councilmember? Okay, perfect. Okay. So with that, I will call for a motion to approve resolution, God bless you, Resolution 11-2025, a resolution of support for the clean energy for local governments FY 2025 application for medium and heavy-duty zero-emissions vehicles.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Brown. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Blunt. Any comments, questions, or input from the council?
Yes, Mayor, one question. Does our clerk have to read the abbreviated resolution?
So you tell us, Madam Clerk. It is a little shorter than the others. Do you mind
I'll read
reading
the
the whole
full.
thing?
I'll read the full.
We will buy you extra
Yes.
cough drops and water.
I'll read the full resolution, no worries. Okay. Resolution number 11-2025, a resolution of support for the clean energy for local government FY25 application for medium and heavy-duty zero-emission vehicles. Whereas the town of Bladensburg and Colmar Manor have shared a commitment to enhancing the quality of life for their residents by providing essential services, including accessible transportation for seniors and disabled residents. And whereas the Port Towns Call a Bus program plays a critical role in supporting mobility and independence by offering reliable transportation for short trips to vulnerable populations. And whereas the current vehicle used for this service are high-emission, fossil fuel-powered vehicles that contribute to environmental degradation, increase operational costs, and whereas the Maryland Energy Administration Clean Energy for Local Government FY25 program provides grant funding to support local government in reducing greenhouse gas emission and transitioning to clean energy and solutions. And whereas the town of Bladensburg and Colmar Manor are jointly seeking funding through the CELG FY25 program to replace the Portstown Call a Bus vehicle with electric vehicles, which will significantly reduce emission, lower maintenance costs, and provide a sustainable, eco-friendly transportation option. And whereas the acquisition of electrical vehicles aligns with the town's commitment to sustainability, public health, environmental stewardship, while continuing to prioritize accessible transportation services for seniors and disabled residents. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Mayor and Town Council of the Town of Bladensburg in collaboration with the Town of Colmar Manor. 1, support application. The Town of Bladensburg formally supports the joint application for clean energy for local government program to secure funding for replacing the Portstown Call a Bus vehicle with electrical vehicles. 2, commitment to collaboration. The Town of Bladensburg will work collaboratively with Colmar Manor to ensure the successful implementation of this project, including planning, acquisition, and service continuation. 3, focus on service and sustainability. The town reaffirms its commitment to providing essential transportation services to its residents while advancing its sustainability goals by adopting clean energy technologies. Be it further resolved by the Mayor and Town Council, authorizing submission of all necessary documents and information required for the CELG FY25 application, and direct town staff to take all actions necessary to facilitate this grant application and project. Passed on December 9th, 2024 by Mayor and Town Council of the Town of Bladensburg.
Thank you for doing the full reading, Madam Clerk. With that, is there a motion to approve? I'm sorry, we have a motion by Councilmember Brown, a second by Councilmember Blunt. Any comments or questions hearing the full reading? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The resolution passes. Next, we'll turn it back over to the Town Administrator for Resolution 12-2025, a resolution appointing council members and staff to the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments, known as COG, to the boards and policy committees for the calendar year of 2025. Town Administrator.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So this is the last and final item for the new year, for the 2024. Well, not really of resolutions at this point. This is the the 4 items are for the Human Services Policy Committee, the Climate and Energy Policy Committee, and just had scrolled it down, the Chesapeake Bay Water and Resource Committee and the Food and Agricultural Committee. Other committees that the town has staff serving on are not up for renewal, so the COG CAO committee does not, I will still serve on that. Our IT committee will remain the same. Actually, we'll probably change to Miss Watson. The chief serves on the National Capital Region Preparedness, and he also is on, I believe it's the MSEG, correctly? The MSEG, yeah. So those are not changing. We just need to turn these 4 into the count for the COG by the end of the week. And I'll let you, if you want me to read in from the previous session, I do have the information, but you can also do that, Mayor.
It's fine, since we already read them aloud in the work session. I think the main thing is for Madam Clerk to make sure she has them captured for the reading of this resolution, which she is ecstatic about. Did you get all of them?
Yeah, I put them in the resolution on the
Okay, perfect. So,
on the drive.
Okay, so further, yeah.
So it's already captured.
okay, great. So Madam Clerk, we'll turn it over to you for the reading.
Okay. Resolution number 12-2025, a resolution appointing council members and staff to the Metropolitan Washington Council of Government, COG, to the COG boards and policy committees for the 2025 calendar year. Whereas the town of Bladensburg is a member of the Metropolitan Washington Council of Government, COG, or COG, and actively participates in various boards and committees, and whereas each year COG acts as its members to confirm and appoint members of the various members and alternates who will serve each year. And whereas the town council in a December council work session discussed the appointment and made the recommendations. And be it resolved that the mayor and town council hereby appoints the following individuals as members and alternates to the following board and policy commitment for the calendar year 2025. Human Services and Policies, member Marilyn Blunt, alternate Kalisha Dixon. Climate, Energy, and Environmental Policy Committee, member Takesha James, alternate Michelle Bailey. Chesapeake Bay and Water Resource Policy Committee, member Trina Brown, alternate Kalisha Dixon. Food and Agriculture Regional Member Policy Committee, member Carol McBride, alternate Marilyn Blunt. Be it further resolved that this resolution be and is hereby adopted the 9th day of December 2024 and shall be effective immediately upon its adoption.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk, for the reading of the resolution. Council, is there a motion to approve Resolution 12-2025?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any comments, corrections, or edits to the reading? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The resolution passes. At this time, we'll proceed into staff reports, and oh my goodness, we get to start with our treasurer report. Mr. Tonelli. 3 minutes, Mr. Tonelli.
It all depends how much in detail, or if you do want to hear a treasurer report, but, Sean, you want to, okay, thank you, Sean. You good? Okay.
I'm sorry, I was getting pulled in a different
Oh,
direction. I
that's fine,
apologize.
that's fine. I thought you were talking about my report already, so.
We are. We're there. Treasurer's report. It's time.
Yeah, so real quick, it's in the packet and it's online. We are 5 months into the fiscal year, which is 42% of the year gone. And if you look down the numbers on the table, it's on the third page there. You can see our total revenues are at 41% for the year. There's some variances there just because we're so, we're still into the first part of the fiscal year. I mean, we're really heavy on the property taxes because those are due to the county by December 31st. The business personal property tax is outpacing last year's collection activities. And some of the other ones are more minor, but the what's notable again is the amount of interest that we are receiving. We received $152,000 already for interest just for the first 5 months. As far as expenses, you can run down that table. Again, 42% is that target. And you can see for the mayor and council, the administration, public safety, and public works, everybody is below that for each department, which helps. We've had some vacancies which are being filled, which has helped ease the pressure off the budget. We were heavy into expenses with the town events that we had the first 2 or 3 months of the year, but as we go through, it levels out. And that's about it. We are still in the audit process. They have the last of their information. I was hoping to have a draft report by this meeting, but we'll have one by the January meeting. Attended the Maryland Government Finance Officers Association quarterly conference, the Maryland Municipal League State of the Municipalities in Annapolis, where Mayor James was part of the panel discussion. And I'll be attending the Maryland Association of Counties this week for their winter conference as a guest of my home county. And that's it. If anybody has any questions.
Wow. Time
Wow.
to spare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep talking.
Just a question though on the fact that we're at the end of the year for most of the folks who pay property taxes, they're billed in the fall, and then we get the second payment on those property taxes normally around this time. Have you seen the bump up in the budget yet from that second installment?
Not yet. That will happen, I think this Thursday. I'll see that, but the final installment I will not see until early January. But then there's the stragglers out there for various, not just this fiscal year, but prior fiscal years as well. And then there's going to be some changes for property transfers, construction, everything else. But right now it's looking very well.
Thank you, Mr. Tonelli. Any other comments or questions for Mr. Tonelli at this time? Hearing none, we'll proceed over to public safety.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, Council, community, colleagues. I will be a little brief this month because I want to share my time with Sean, because I think this is the appropriate time to talk about safety in homes, fire, rescue, things like that. But I do want to just
Chief,
highlight...
apologies for interrupting. I also want to note, when you finish, we have Chief Sumner here, and we'll turn it over to him, and I believe the Deputy Chief too, to give an update on the fire department as well. Sorry.
Well, ma'am,
Can he get more time? Can he get more time, Mr. Reinhardt? I'm sorry. I mean...
I think that was done by design. I just want to say that, you know, I want to, again, I can't thank our men and women of the Bladensburg Police Department, our code enforcement, all of our teams working collaboratively with the town to make sure that we meet the needs of our residents. This month, we received 856 calls for service that our staff handled. And I want to say that, again, going above and beyond what they do every day, showing up for work. I just go into some of our community highlights. I do have a comprehensive report that will be available online, so I'll just highlight some of the highlights that we have. On May 5th was election day. We had the opportunity to spend time with the newly elected Senator Angela Alston-Brooks. Her last visit to the town of Bladensburg as the county exec. On November the 8th, we held a appreciation luncheon for our community stakeholders and our businesses, along with our firefighters, just to show appreciation for the collaboration and partnership that we have with them. Anytime we have events, we can't thank them enough for stepping to the forefront, support our community event. So, Chief Sumner, thank you very much. And your team. November the 11th was Veterans Day. Again, I want to give a shout out to Miss Renee Green. She is our patriot matriarch for Save the Peace Cross. And this year I was honored and humbled to be the keynote speaker for the event. So, thank you. November 13th was our Coffee with a Cop. Again, thanking our partners at Chick-fil-A for always stepping up to help us out. And there are a few other events in there. But I do want to pivot over to last week we had we lost one of our residents from Bladensburg in the 5200 block of Varnum Street. The single-family home was engulfed in flames, claiming the life of an elderly woman despite the swift response of the Bladensburg Volunteer Fire Department, who was the first units on scene. Within 2 minutes. They jumped right into action to attack the fire. Additionally, there was another young female in the home that was fortunate enough to escape with her life. But the end of the day, a resident lost her life, but also 3 other residents were displaced, and I can't thank the Red Cross enough for stepping in expeditiously to render assistance. Tragedy, this incident did impact our community, and I'm asking that everyone keep them, this family, and those that were displaced in your prayers. And I'll end it there because I want to pivot over to Sean to give the safety tips for this holiday season.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I want to stress one thing, especially with the loss of the life of the young lady. I'm sorry, the lady from Varnum Street. Is please, 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 please have a smoke detector and a carbon monoxide detector in your home. And I know Chief Sumner will probably go into a little bit more detail with that. Have a great fire extinguisher in your kitchen. Again, make sure that you're, with the carbon monoxide, especially with most of the homes in Bladensburg being natural gas, when gas doesn't combust completely, you can fall asleep and never wake up. We don't want to see that to any of our residents or any residents of Prince George's County or anywheres. I also want to just make note, since the weather is getting colder, please be mindful of your elderly neighbors or your seasoned neighbors. Just make sure you get out and check on them. Just stop by, see how they're doing, check and see if they need anything. If they do need something, and you don't believe it's that you could handle it, do definitely reach out to the town, and we could definitely see if we can help them out also. And as for my co-report, I want to thank Chief Collington and the mayor and council. Last month I was out dealing with a family emergency, so I want to say, I appreciate all the love and prayers that I got from everybody. We're still working through it, but we're going to make it through it. The only big thing we had this month was we did assist with a vehicle enforcement in the commercial area. We cited 27 vehicles for either being abandoned, stuff like that. We're just trying to get that area cleaned up. And we also attended the quarterly Maryland Municipal League Code Enforcement and Zoning officials. That's my report.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Reinhardt. Now we'll turn it over to Chief Sumner. Yeah, exactly. Times two. Did you want the first vice president to accompany you as well, or?
No, he's got enough pressure.
All right.
He's got a lot of other things to deal with. All right. Good evening, Mayor, Council, and guest. Real quick, the mission of the fire department is simple but vital: to safeguard lives, protect property, and strengthen the fabric of our community. Tonight, I want to share with you some steps taken by Prince George's County Fire Department, highlight key events, and explain how these efforts directly impact our community, safety, and well-being. Earlier this year, Prince George's County Fire Department addressed staffing challenges to ensure adequate coverage during peak vacation season. Starting June 30th, 2024, personnel were temporarily reassigned from several key stations: Greenbelt, Bowie, Berwyn Heights, and Bunker Hill. These adjustments face challenges, especially with the implementation of the new Phase 2 volunteer training standards that went into effect July 1. Volunteers voiced their concerns about potential impacts on service to the community. Keep in mind, every volunteer chief was against the time frame, not against the training. On November the 14th, the Prince George's County Fire Chief defended these changes during a discussion with the County Council and community members, emphasizing their importance to long-term readiness. Recognizing these concerns, after finally listening to the volunteers, she announced on November 21 the extension of the Phase 2 standards until July of 2025 to allow for smoother implementation and maintaining high quality of service and delivery. Some of our responses that we've gone to since this change in staffing. On November 24th, 2024 at 12:39 a.m., firefighters responded to the Mount Rainier Brentwood area involving a 2-story duplex with over-storage conditions and a full basement. Units arrived on the scene within minutes. First unit to arrive on the scene, the first suppression unit to arrive on the scene was at 12:43. So there was not a big delay. Under a normal night, the battalion chief even stated to me, "I'm so glad that you and Hyattsville were in service, or else the first engine would have came from Chilma-Delphi." On December 4th, 2024, a tragic fire occurred in the town of Bladensburg. Units arrived on scene within 2 minutes and 38 seconds, showcasing exceptional speed and coordination. Crews quickly extinguished the fire within 5 minutes of arrival, minimizing further loss. On December the 6th, 2024, Prince George's County Fire Department has implemented a new change to their staffing. The relocation of the Northern EMS duty officer from 55, which is Bunker Hill, to Greenbelt, Station 35. Deployment of paramedic ambulance 858 for 24/7 coverage at Greenbelt. Continued peak coverage for ambulance 899 at Berwyn Heights, and the reassignment of ambulance 858 to station 816 in Bowie, which is the one by the town center. Station 855 will have their career personnel returned with all 24 personnel. They will actually have an increase in service as there will be a paramedic ambulance and a paramedic engine now in place. Laurel Station 10 will also receive 24 personnel. To date, our teams are on average with our call volume. To date, we have responded to 4,296 calls for service, including 3,697 calls within our first due area, which is comprised of Bladensburg, Cheverly, Edmiston, and the Roger Heights District. These numbers represent more than just workload. They reflect the trust and responsibility we carry every day. Mayor James, as we move forward, I want to assure you that the safety and well-being of our residents remain our highest priority. We are committed to addressing challenges, improving services, and providing the highest level of care to our community. Together, we will build a safer, stronger, and more resilient future for all. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions at this time.
Chief Sumner, thank you for that. To roll out 4,000 plus calls for service in the years not over is just remarkable for a volunteer fire department. And again, you know, I'm very sorry that this saga has continued for so long. We have tried to advocate for the resources. We did get notification, as you said, that Chief Green is restoring staff to some of the stations, but it concerns me the wear and tear that has been displaced. So we solved for a problem for career staffing that we then created for the volunteers, because while, yes, overtime was significantly reduced, someone had to pick up the slack, and the someone in this case was the volunteers. And you didn't get compensation, you know, and overtime and all that kind of stuff, but yet you and the men and women of the fire department continue to step up, not just for Bladensburg, for all of us. And so for that, we thank you. Any comments or, yeah, thank you. Any comments or questions from the council?
No, but, just kind of ditto the mayor. We just want you to know that we really do appreciate you all, because you are in Bladensburg, so you're a Bladensburg volunteer department. So we really do appreciate what you all do for our safety every day. Thank you so very much.
And just real quick, I got a text while sitting here from Mrs. Claus. Santa Claus will be around on the 18th.
Oh, it's the 18th this year. Good to know. 7-ish, 7:30-ish? 6:30 start. All right, community, you heard it here first. Listen out for the sirens, the lights. Be ready and be quick so you can catch those candy canes being tossed off the fire truck. They always bring treats. All right, we will proceed with the town clerk report at this time.
Mayor, Council, I'm going to forego my report, but it is online, the full report, if anybody would like to read it.
Well, I will acknowledge we are appreciative for you stepping in there as the PM for the Thanksgiving community giveaway. I know it was your first time organizing that event, but with your help, just keeping things moving, and with our nonprofit partners, we're blessed that we were able to help over 300 families. So thank you for your hard work. Any comments or questions for the clerk? I feel like we've had her doing so many readings, she wants a break. All right, we will proceed with Public Works Department report. Mr. Hall.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, residents at home. I'm gonna be real brief. We talked about, well, as we have been talking about the leaf vacuum, as of now, Public Works has collected around 18 to 20 tons of leaves within, we started November 16th. So within a couple of weeks, almost 3 weeks, Public Works has almost reached the 25 tons of leaves, which is a significant amount of leaves. As you see in my report, there's a picture of all our leaves that we have stored, and I want to thank Eco City Farm for allowing us to take our leaves up there, and they reuse them. So a little bit recycling going on right here. And also 57th Avenue, the lighting project is coming along. Waiting for Pepco to just waiting for Pepco to bring power to our pedestal so they can service the light, to feed all the lights with that. And also the bridge work is moving right along. We had a few minor setbacks, as you know, in any construction. There's not one time to where anything just go positive, you know. So the little minor setbacks with nothing, you know, all we're doing right now is wait for long fences to come to do the guardrails and everything for safety for any pedestrians walking, anything like that. That's to be in compliance with the state. And also, I had one other thing. I'm sorry. Where was it at? I'm sorry.
You're
Sorry.
fine. You're
Bear
good
with
on
me
time.
just
You
one
have a
time.
whole minute.
Oh, okay.
A whole
Okay.
minute.
And as I want to thank the guys that was working for Veterans Day, Mr. Watson and Mr. Portella. And also I want to thank Mr. Alston and myself. We did the turkey drive Saturday, and that's basically the end of our report. We've been doing some little minor stuff here and there, but physical work is really, we have leaves 3 days a week, so it's kind of basically what we're trying to gear towards right now is getting basically all the leaves out and minor repairs on the buildings. And that's conclude my report, Mayor and Council. Sorry about that. May have something a little bit more next.
You're fine. We appreciate the work with the leaf collection. We know how busy it is this time of year with the tonnage that you and the team collect. So I understand you're out actually doing what you're supposed to be doing, not sitting behind a computer. So please don't apologize. And we do appreciate, yeah.
I mean, I do, but I really like to be out there with the guys too.
Exactly.
You know, so.
And we definitely appreciate
I transform one day, but still got books.
not anytime
bit,
soon. We're good. We're good. Thank you, sir. And next, we'll turn it over to the town administrator for your report. And if you wouldn't mind, Mrs. Bailey Hedgepeth, just mentioning Bates from just.
That was what that's
Okay.
most of what I was going to say. So, but I just wanted to thank, again, Ms. Watson for picking up both food distributions, like you mentioned, and also the project of the Community Cupboard, which was installed on December 3rd here at Town Hall. There are 2 of them in the county. It's us and Laurel. And those are both funded and supported by Johns Hopkins. But I did ask if people did want to make donations of food, that is possible, depending on the usage of it. So we will be able to take those donations as long as we just can track them and say what we're putting in their healthy foods. So again, I just wanted to thank Ms. Watson for putting all that together and keeping that off my plate and allowing me to do a lot of other things. As the mayor mentioned, that we are working with Bates on a possible electric truck project. And again, what that will do is that hopefully, I mean, as she explained earlier, that this could occur in the winter because the battery life is about 30% less for electric vehicles in the winter. And that's the reason why they want to do the testing time during that. And then, so the other portion of that is whether or not that will work with the town. I think that we can, just trying to make sure that we get the council input on that. If there's any strong reservations, is there any strong reservations from the council to keep it moving forward for just the test for 4 times?
No, it seemed reasonable. I didn't hear any objections during the work session.
Yeah, no objections. Like I said, we're just in terms of what the grant supports, in terms of all of that
Yeah.
afterwards, but for the pilot, yeah.
Yeah, that's the tricky part, which you'll leave to me, and I'll bring you a full report on how those negotiations will go with Bates. I wasn't quite satisfied with we'll just pay insurance and that, so we will discuss that with Bates further. So I think if that's fine with the council, then you probably will see that within the next 3 or 4 months. Even I don't think they'll be able to do it January or February, and maybe March or April. And I don't think they want to go into May because of the heat cycles. So we'll let you know when that comes up. And then last thing is that Boswick is moving forward. I know I try to do Boswick as a separate port every month, and this time I did not do that. We're trying to get the final ULI report, which should be coming. We're working with Maryland Park and Planning on a placemaking project at Boswick, which will take place in May, which will be a special event where we can open up Boswick House to the community. And then we're working with UMD Architecture on making sure that they know that they're valued. And we're also working with the Sustainable Architects Group, which is doing the modeling of the program, of the house. So basically, helping us to determine what modern structural items could be put in the house, and then also looking at different uses for the house long-term. So those projects are all moving forward, and I'm done, sorry. But it's because you asked me to do something extra, so there.
Right.
Thank you.
It's like Officer Reinhardt, or no, that was Chief. He's like, I need my time back. Totally understand. Thank you so much for that report. Any questions for the town administrator?
Yes, Mayor.
Go ahead, Councilmember Dixon.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So, Michelle, I wanted to ask Ms. Matthews, but because of time, we were trying to finish. What is the reason? What is the reason for Bates not interested in such a good project?
They're not interested in paying for another truck or maintaining an additional truck. They'd like us to do it because of they're not eligible for the grant funding. So we are eligible, but when we talked to them before about making some changes to their fleet, especially when it came to the port towns or looking at that, that's not something they're willing to do. And I know other cities and people in the audience have a city where they do their own trash and recycling pickup. It is something, I kind of did say that in the presentation, that we might look at the cost differential between Bates doing the recycling pickup and us doing the recycling pickup for the 4 port towns. So I think we need to bring those numbers to you and to the port towns. We've already discussed it as the managers as something that we would look at. So as much as I'd like to say thank you to Bates, I might say no thank you. So I just wanted to let you know that as mine, but I think we should let them try it because I'm not ready in the next 2 fiscal years, but it is something that I could shoot for in 27, 28.
That's good feedback. Did that answer your question, Councilmember Dixon? Okay.
As long as we don't have to pay for anything.
Yeah.
No, not for the pilot.
And not for the charging?
No. Not for the pilot, because that's why we will do some negotiations with them.
And that's the whole point, Councilmember, to take advantage of the pilot, get the data, and then decide, do we want to proceed with them, or is this something that we could do better ourselves? So we really don't stand to lose anything by participating in, say it one more time, the
pilot.
All right. Too much fun before the holidays. All right, at this time, that concludes the staff reports. We'll proceed on with the mayor and council reports, beginning with Ward 1, Councilmember Brown.
Changes in 2025. Hello to the mayor, council, staff, residents, and guests. As we bring the year 2025 to 2024, I don't know, it's like 2025 is just like stuck in everybody's head. 2024 to a close. We've accomplished a lot this year, and can't say thanks enough to our town administrator, to our treasurer, our newest town clerk, because she has just jumped in and, feet hitting the ground and running. And definitely to our public safety department, because I can never say this enough. We live here in Bladensburg, so we definitely feel protected by our police department. And over the past 2 years, there have been a lot of safety enhancements that have been made throughout the town. We appreciate that. We also definitely always keep our officers and in prayer, because you all are running to the crime scene while we're moving away from the crime scene. So, and putting your lives on the line every day. Public Works and code enforcement as well, appreciate what you all do daily. So I've attended a host of things this year. We had the National League of Cities, also with the Yule Log, the Veterans Day, and Miss Renee, once again, resounding thank you again for all that you do with the Patriotic Committee, hanging in there with the town. So we really appreciate appreciate what you do as well. And we appreciate our residents too. So we thank you all for coming out and giving input and chiming in and, taking the good with the bad and because we all live here together and we're all striving to do the same thing, and that's to continue to make our town a good place to live, for people to work, grow our families. I've been a resident in the town of Bladensburg for a very long time. I don't want to kind of date myself, but for a very long time. And I do really enjoy living here. So I want to wish everyone a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, because this is our last televised meeting of the year. And you all be safe, and definitely look forward, God willing, seeing you all next year. Thank you so very much. Yes.
Thank you, Councilmember Brown, and we will try not to make you go first in January. Honestly, the draft had it reversed, so I just think the system likes putting you first. It just changed it back. But I did see you were second. With that, Councilmember Dixon.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, Chief. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, residents. Good evening to the audience. My report's going to be really fast. So we did the Bladensburg Thanksgiving meal distribution, Christmas meal distribution, and I attended the PGCMA meeting, and I just want to say happy holidays to all the residents here in Bladensburg, and thank you, Mayor and Council, for a great year. Thank you to the staff, code enforcement, public works for your hard work, Chief and his staff, Town Admin and her staff. Just want to thank you for a great year, and I just want to say thank you again to the residents for allowing us to serve you well, and we look forward to serving you better next year. Thank you.
Thank you for that report, Councilmember Dixon. Yes, Councilmember Brown. Right.
Just real quick, I also just want to mention Elizabeth Seaton's winter concert series. Oh my gosh, it was just phenomenal. So I just want to thank them for their wonderful winter series, their winter concert series.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Next, we'll proceed with the report from Councilmember McBride.
Good evening, everyone. It's good to see you in our meeting. Council McBride, Member McBride has attended the food giveaway for Thanksgiving, the food giveaway for Christmas. I would like to thank our police that came on board to assist our code with the code enforcement. Yeah. Okay. And it was good. The residents were very pleased. We even had some bags we had to go out and give away, and that was the fun part of it. At the end, we were just like Santa Claus. We were handing our bags to the residents. That was truly a blessing. I want to thank everyone for all of your work, all of your help that you supported Councilmember McBride on this year. Code enforcement, thank you, Chief. I truly thank you for how you keeping our town safe. Our town administrator, you've been awesome. Thank you. And Ms. Regine, how you come in and you just hit the ground running. Thank you very much. And to Mr. Vito, who keeps all of us financially in the right lane. And to all of our council members, and especially to our mayor. I want to say thank you. You worked hard. You put up with a lot with me. and my co-partner, Councilmember Blunt. Yes, thank you. So I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, a wonderful and safe holiday, and I hope to see you in the new year.
Thank you so much, Councilmember McBride. Appreciate you. And we'll turn it over to Councilmember Blunt.
Good evening, everyone. Guests, good evening. Former Mayor James. Good evening. Again, I would like to say, thank you. Thank you all. They said it already. Thank you for all that you all do in the town, and yeah, especially for seniors, how you all show up and show out for the seniors. It means a lot to me as well as to them. Just thank everybody. And again, I think someone said, I think it's Sean said earlier, if you have a chance, go by a senior home or a place where they house seniors, and just tell them thank you, because we all going to get that age and need someone, and a lot of times seniors don't have anyone. I just want, this is a time when they are having hissy fits because they're lonely, and they really need someone to go out. So again, my heart go out to them. So again, go out and see a senior. I do want to let you all know we have our senior holiday gala on December the 12th at the Bladensburg Recreation Center. You can come by and see them in their red and white, their high heel shoes. I was going to say something else, but I won't. But come out and come. I won't. So just come out and see them. I have a heart for seniors, and can I just do a plug? Okay. I was pro mayor for a day. Pro mayor pro temp. I was scared and nervous. I did have my script ready. Thank you, Regine and Ray, for making sure I had my speech. And we talked about food, and I know we give so much food, but it's nothing like seeing a senior who can't even cook the food that we give them. But you could take them a hot meal. They need cleaning. Those are the things that seniors really, really need. That a lot of times if you don't know seniors, you don't really know. Food is not the number one thing for a senior. It's not. They can't even eat half of the food that they get. I'm just throwing my plug out there. So if you all will ever want to talk or have an organization want to talk about what seniors really need in this time, I would really like to come to the table to talk to other organizations about senior needs. And it's not always food. So again, I had to throw my plug out there. I wanted to do it that day, but I knew it wasn't my time. So again, anyway, that's all I have to say. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you for that report, Councilmember Blunt. And last, so I will talk quickly. November was very busy. As you know, many of us attended the Maryland Municipal League, which was great for professional development and educational sessions. I found particular interest in the sessions that had to do with AI in government, and think that is something that we need to have protocols in place for. For example, as staff are using AI note-taking and certain things, there's just policies that we need to tighten up on as we consider how to use that sort of technology, but then also consider how it can help maybe lighten the load of staff as we move forward. So that was very helpful, along with the class on the volunteer dilemma. And I think many of our communities face this. 20% of the work is, or 80% of the work is done by 20% of our volunteers, and really trying to crack the code into how do we get to our neighbors and really tell them the more that help, the less of a lift it is for all of us. And so came away with some strategies for that. And in class, I created this list of like 30 plus residents. I'm going door to door, knocking, and so trying to get these folks to action. But I do appreciate the support of our residents who find the opportunity for us to go and learn how to do better at the jobs that we're attempting to do for our communities, and appreciate the help and support from MML. As was stated, also attended the Veterans Day ceremony. I also attended the Maryland 250 Commission meeting. As you know, I was appointed by Governor Moore to be a commissioner for that. And more activities will ramp up in 2025 in terms of encouraging other communities to start thinking about how they're going to celebrate our nation's birth on July 4th. I almost said 3rd, my birthday, July 4th, 2026. And so you'll be hearing more about that. And I'll start doing more to get information out to PGCMA and other groups to just encourage communities, not just in other parts of the state, but in Prince George's County particularly, to make sure that we're celebrating our unique history and telling our stories of our communities, which are all vibrant. In addition, Chief Sumner, again, appreciate your report and appreciated the opportunity to attend the Prince George's County Council hearing last month on November 14th, and to stand in support with the volunteers and to be able to share the concerns with the decisions that have been made from Chief Green, of course respectfully, but to just convey the point that we really do need to come up with another solution. And I'm willing to sit at the table and talk with her, with yourself, the other leaders, the Association for the Volunteers. No one person has all the answers, but I think if we come together, we can figure out how we can help you, and in turn, how you're better able to help us with resources. So I'll stop there. There were, of course, other meetings during the month of November, but again, appreciate the opportunity to serve. I want to thank our staff for a fantastic year. And buckle your seatbelts. I'm sure we'll be flying even faster in 2025. Thank you to the council for all your support this year. And of course, last but certainly not least, thank you to all of our residents who continue to support us, who continue to let us know, have that two-way communication in terms of how we can better serve you, because we are in this together. And as Councilmember Brown said, we're your neighbors. We live here. So what happens here is critically important to each of us. So with that, we're at the end of tonight's meeting. I'll now call for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
A second.
Seconded by Councilmember Blunt. Any comments or questions?
One more, Mayor.
I looked to my left.
Merry Christmas, Happy Day.
All right. Happy holidays, everyone.
holidays.
With that, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Happy holidays, and we'll see you next year. We're adjourned.